Hey there! Single App Mode enables administrators to lock iOS and iPadOS devices into a designated app of their choice, restricting access to other apps and functions. Let's go through a quick overview on how to configure Single App Mode in Jamf School. For this example, let's imagine it's approaching testing time in our school, and we'll be using the Pearson TestNav app to conduct testing for our students. We don't want students to be able to access any other apps on the iPads, so we'll use Single App Mode to lock the iPads into the TestNav app, which I've already acquired licenses for in Apple School Manager. Before we begin, make sure the devices you're planning on using for Single App Mode are supervised. First, let's create a new device group to make sure we're only affecting the iPads used for testing. From the Jamf School dashboard, navigate to Devices, Device Groups. Click Add Group. Give the group a name. I'm naming mine High School Testing iPads. A description is optional, but it can be helpful to provide context. Then choose whether this should be a smart group or static group. I don't need the group membership to be dynamic, so I'm choosing static group. However, work with your team to determine the best way to pinpoint the devices you'll use in your situation. Click the Next button to skip the Options and Profiles screens. On the app screen, we can choose to deploy the TestNav app to the members of this group right away. Feel free to deploy the app right from here. I'm going to deploy the app after the group is made so we can see every step of the process. Click Next to continue. Click Next again. Since this is a static group, I can choose which devices in my fleet should be added. I'm adding one iPad to start so we can test the process. Then click Finish. Our group is made. Next, we need to make sure the app we'll be using for Single App Mode is deployed to the devices in this group. To avoid temporary errors on devices, this step should be done before we configure the Single App Mode profile. If you didn't choose to deploy the app when making the group, then your next step will be to navigate to Apps, Inventory, and select the app that will be used for Single App Mode. In my case, it's the TestNav app. Scroll down and click the plus button under This app will be distributed to the following device groups. Select the pop-up menu and choose the name of the group we created earlier. Then click Save on the bottom right. After a few minutes, the app will be automatically installed on any iPads in the group. Our final step is to configure a profile with the Single App Mode settings. Navigate to Profiles, Overview, and click Create Profile. Select the iOS platform, which includes iPadOS, and then select Device Enrollment. Then click Next. Give the profile a descriptive name. I'm naming mine Single App Mode for TestNav. Then click Next. Then Finish. In the Payloads list to the left, scroll down to the iOS Payload Supervised Only section and select Single App Mode. Scroll back up to the top and click Configure. Select the Lock Device to One Specific App checkbox. From the Lock-in App pop-up menu, we first see all of the built-in apps that are eligible for Single App Mode. To see managed apps that we've purchased from Apple School Manager, we need to scroll to the very bottom. There I can see TestNav, so I'm selecting that. Now we can choose which options we want to enforce on the devices while they're in Single App Mode. Your choices for these settings may change depending on the use case. For now, I'm leaving the first 6 checkboxes selected, and I'm selecting a few of the accessibility options below, like Enable Zoom and Enable Assistive Touch. I'm selecting those same options in the User Configurable Options section to make sure users can toggle those settings as they need. Once the settings have been configured to our liking, click Save on the bottom right to save our progress. After saving, click Scope on the left. Click the plus sign and choose the device group we made earlier. Then click Save. On my test iPad, we can see the TestNav app came down earlier, and once the profile reaches the device, it's forced open. I can no longer leave the app. Once our students are finished testing, we can remove this group from the scope of the profile to return the devices to normal. If instead we need to troubleshoot 1 or 2 devices without removing the whole group from scope, we can remove individual devices from the group by navigating to Devices, Device Groups, and clicking on the device group. Click Members, and then click the X to the right of any devices we want to remove for troubleshooting. Once removed, they'll no longer be in scope of the app or the Single App Mode profile, allowing us to have control of the device once again. When we want to add it back or add new devices, all we need to do is add the devices to the group and wait for the app and profile to be deployed. If you see an error on the device that says Guided Access App Unavailable, that means the single app mode profile reached the device before the app itself. Wait a few minutes, and once the app downloads, it'll correct itself. That's it for configuring single app mode in Jamf School. We'll see you in another video.